Looking good, YouTube. My name's Love Game, or PD1 Piranha if you prefer. And I am a man destined to be king. Let me tell you, I could never be more thankful that I died last time, for a couple different reasons. I actually have to kind of apologize for that entire last video, really. As I said before, my friend had brought over a couple bottles of whiskey, you know? And I may or may not have had half a bottle of Jack. No matter how badass or whatever you may think you are, please don't drink half a bottle of Jack under any circumstances. I would implore you to please not do that. Because the whole time I was fighting, old ONS there, don't mean to John too much, but I was beyond uncomfortable. I couldn't focus whatso-fucking-ever. Not even remotely. I do not remember how I got to this point. I watched the video footage again. I remember doing a pretty sick parry on the knight, the sniper particularly, with a sliver of health left, so that was kind of cool. Also, I changed my armor and my general setup here, because look at this. Just look at this shit. Steel armor. Weight, 2 more pounds. Defenses, worse. What the fuck? Only thing better is the poise. And I got the lightning resistance ring on now. But no, there's actually quite a bit to see here that I would have forgotten. If I had killed the boss on the first try, I would have completely forgotten and skipped over this like an idiot, so I cannot be more thankful that I actually just, again, I could not play. I was just too fucked up. Also, you may notice I have 20 Estus flasks. I didn't cheat. I didn't get the Rite of Kindling yet. You know what happened? I'll let you take a wild guess what happened. I was in the bathroom puking for so long that 10 different people evidently, or maybe how some people did it multiple times, but one way or the other. Isn't the thing up here, actually? Yeah. They kindled the bonfire to the max. So I now have 20 Estus, because that's how long I was in there. Man, that was terrible. I'm not proud of that at all. Don't worry about me too much, guys, if you are. I don't normally do that. I don't have the money to do that, even if I wanted to. It was just kind of a special occasion, you know. Had friends over, things got a little too rambunctious. There's a super secret hawk ring behind, well, a giant. A pretty big dude. Tapping on this sword with a... Well, it's a pretty big hammer, but still small for his hands, so what do you got to say? And this is the guy I wanted to show off. This man is, quite useful. He can upgrade your weapons into lightning weapons. They do not have any scaling, but they will do a lot of raw damage. Lightning's Y-hander is quite popular in PvP, for what that's worth. Don't really need to repair anything yet, I don't think. Nah. But he also sells incredibly good stuff. He sells large and a twinkling titanite, as well as green. We'll get into green titanite later. It's not pertinent right now. As you can see what it does right there anyway, but it's not super important for the time being. The giant set, the weapons and armor both. It's not bad armor, honestly. It's incredibly heavy, 16 pounds, but I kind of want to get that. It looks fucking cool. I don't want to get the helmet, because I already used that in my last playthrough, and I know what... but you know what, at the same time, I kind of know what I'm going to use in this playthrough, but let's just see if I have any souls. Do I have any souls to break? I have 1. Let's see. Okay, I'll get 1 piece of it, just to see what it looks like on my character. But yeah, I humbly apologize for that whole business. That was unbecoming of me, and I honestly thought I could handle that better than I did. I don't think I can wear this yet. I can't wear it without going fat roll, but I just want to see what it looks like. Looks okay. It's not, like, particularly all that impressive, but it looks alright. We have more Batwing Demons out here. That's what these are called. Just use my... Huh! Thought I was gonna miss there. I do love that incredibly slow attack, because it's just so satisfying to hit with. This weapon, by the way, does have an advantage against demons. I think I mentioned that in the last part. Again, I don't know what I talked about in the last part, so forgive me. But, yeah. Any, like, boss or enemy with demon in its name will be weak to Black Knight weapons. So if you're having trouble with any of those demon-based bosses, well, you know what to do. There's not much out here, it's just kind of a shortcut back. An alternate shortcut at that, but what the hell is this guy doing? The AI for these enemies is just so weird. What the hell? Both of them killed themselves, wasn't expecting that. But yeah, now that I'm back to solo commentary, I can talk more about this area. This is my favorite part of the game, actually. Like, not just one of, but it is my favorite part of Dark Souls 1 and Orlando. It's a very well designed area, a bit non-linear, so it has, different things to do. It looks amazing. The aesthetic is so good. I absolutely love the way this place looks. It's just... They kind of brought back the general aesthetic of this area in Dark Souls 2 for the Hades Tower of Flame, and that was awesome. Like, seriously. I was feeling that. It has some interesting lore to it. It is referred to as the City of the Gods. Kind of a reason as to why everything's so big. When we were coming up, you may have noticed that we have two different types of stairs. We have, like, different heights, and those are actually kind of supposed to be nice little added detail, because they are different heights of stairs. One for humans like us, and one for the giant gods. And according to Dark Souls 2, if you, I don't know why you would unless you were like extreme purist, but if you consider Dark Souls 2 canon, humans will grow in size exponentially if they get a crazy amount of souls. Obviously it's not an in-game mechanic, but it is kind of a lore implied thing. Oh shit, you didn't die. That's not good. These guys can heal as well, which kind of makes it suck even more. Yeah. See, that's weird. I had dropped from a lesser height and still killed the first one in one hit that time. This game is not inconsistent as some people say, but it has inconsistencies here and there. And by inconsistencies, I don't mean the AI doing different things, because honestly, how boring would it be if the AI operated in like one specific pattern? That'd be kind of stupid. But I suppose now we'll take a solid attempt at the boss, because, as I said before, I don't normally have that much trouble with this boss. I've never actually died to it until now, and that was only because I was close to being blackout levels, which you should never ever get to. Get Lightning Spear out just in case. That's a good example of that, because sometimes this boss... One second. Oh, my mouth's getting dry. Don't worry, no whiskey for tonight. The boss's AI can be weird. It'll either be really shitty or really good. Thankfully, no slowdown or nothing, so that's something to be happy about. I have my lightning resistance good to go now. I call that the shoveling attack. That's like the worst one sometimes because, I guess that didn't count for a block because I didn't have enough stamina left. Okay. I do kind of wish it was, if there was anything I wish this game would take from Dark Souls 2, or the AI becomes a bit more aggressive when you heal, and that's actually a good way to punish certain attacks and moves every now and then. Aw, he wouldn't do what I wanted. Whoa, alright. But yeah, just kind of keep track of where both of them are. Thankfully the regular spear thrust attack does not, doesn't actually, what do you call it? Wow, that was an incredibly early roll. I'm sorry for, I humbly apologize for that one. I forgot how much, what do you call it, wind up that attack has, honestly. Cool music for this fight too, I'm digging it. What the hell? Oh, he's like charging up and canceling the attack, that's kinda cool. Ah, that didn't count. I forget that certain like weapons don't really have tippers, so to speak. We're gonna use Smash Brothers terms here. Yeah, the camera's not doing me a lot of favors here. But it's not so bad. This is kind of a... The camera is not the best, it's not the worst either in this fight. Thankfully it's not like, I mean, if you ever played Drakengard 3, don't complain about the camera in any other game. Ooh boy, that game. A boss fight is against the camera, let's just say that much. Methodical approach is always the way to go here, but I'm not in a good position because Smoth is now behind me. I think it's pronounced Smoth with like an F sound because there's a character later on in the game whose name is Gough and it's spelled with an O-U-G-H. You know, O-U-G-H. Then again, I don't know because there's a place in real life, I believe it's in England, you can... One of the jacks can tell me if I'm right. It's S-L-O-U-G-H, and it's pronounced Slough. So, if you're an Englishman, tell me if I'm correct on that or not. I'm known to mess up pronunciations every now and then. Yeah, the AI is being a little weird here, as you can see, but... Not too bad so far. I'm getting a... I guess you could say in a way I'm getting good RNG, even though this fight isn't. Yeah, I can dodge the lightning just by sidestepping. Not in the sense of like Smash Brothers, but you know, stepping sideways, nonetheless. Yeah, the pillars are your friends in this fight, because even when they're broken, obviously the enemies can't just walk through them, that would be incredibly cheap. I love this boss though, because it's a good test of all the different skills you learn throughout Dark Souls 1. I was able to poise through that pretty good. But yeah, it's, people refer to it as a skill test or skill check type boss, and that is fairly accurate, I would say. That uppercut kind of stab is quite tough to circumvent, though, I will say that. But yeah, one of my favorite bosses of my favorite area. How the fuck did I block that? Damn, the game gave that to me. Normally, instead of like when DSP says, I got robbed, dude. No, the game got robbed that time. You're just going methodical here, so... Sorry if it's a little slower paced than you're used to. You know how it is with me. Sometimes that is part of making a battle more butt-clenching, is you take it slow so you don't know, oh shit, is he gonna win or not? That's a thing that a lot of shonen-style anime tend to do more often than not. I mean, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, I'm already doing some Dragon Ball Z type stuff in this LP with the whole, like, I was holding back my true power type shit, so... Does have good taste in miracles, I will say. I like your lightning spear, sir. Sometimes they'll try to separate to trick you out like that, but keeping them both on screen is usually a good way to go. Sometimes punishing him can be quite hard, but don't be too downtrodden if you take a hit or two in this fight. It's really doesn't mean you suck. I mean, I've never done a no-hit run of this boss before. I've gotten hit plenty of times when I fight him, but usually I don't die to him. I use a different strategy though. I normally use the flame resin. I believe though that Black Knight weapons are not compatible with that. I believe they cannot be buffed, kind of like in Dark Souls 2, how certain weapons cannot have like the buff abilities used on them. I think the Moonlight Greatsword is like that, as a matter of fact. There we go. Now, cutscene time in a second. And how does he honor his fallen foe? By smashing him, of course. And now Smough is imbued with lightning. This is the second stage of the fight, if you weren't aware. So, get ready. He has a few tricky attacks up his sleeve. So again, just take it slow. He has kind of a ground pound, kind of a Mario style ground pound almost, that has a huge shockwave to it. He does a lot of fucking damage. Be very careful if he tries to pull that attack off. I'm gonna use my big boy attack right there. Here it comes. Thankfully my lightning resistance is enough to tank it out. But yeah, that attack is your main threat for this fight. Thankfully his attacks otherwise are generally slower and more predictable. But it doesn't mean you should take him too lightly, you know. This shield has a lot of stability on it too, but I don't have a lightning resistant shield right now, however. This one is more of a flame resistance shield, so it's not doing me too much good here, but the stability on its own is quite good. It's one of the better stability shields unless you want to go into like the great shield department, which is a whole nother story. But generally speaking, it's a great shield. Not a great shield, but a high quality shield that you should probably look into using if you find it. It is, as you guys know, a completely random drop, so if you don't get it by now, you could grind for the Silver Knight shield, which has much better lightning defense, honestly. If you ask me, if you want my professional opinion on the matter. Honestly, the Stomp didn't do as much damage as I thought it would. But yeah, he's much more predictable than Ornstein. You can kill him first, and fight kind of a super form Ornstein instead. He's not, like, impossible, but he is, like, his attacks are much faster, and his moveset is totally different than the regular Ornstein. So that's something to worry about if you want to, because whichever one you kill, you get their armor. That's kind of the thing. And their weapon, if you want to use their soul, that is. Also, fun little lore fact here, Ornstein and Smough actually hate each other. They are not friends. They're not friends in any sense of the word. They just work together to kind of protect the city of the gods. That's the only... They're just kind of on a contract, pretty much. As you can see, I was able to outspace the butt stomp at that time, thankfully. That attack has come close to killing me before, so you need to watch out if he keeps like wanting to do that attack over and over again. Which he will like to do if you happen to be too close to him, so... If you want to know how to manipulate his AI, well, there you go. But generally, the generic giant Dark Souls boss strategy of, you know, circle around him and hit him a few times works for Smough. But lightning resistance is good, and having a good high stability shield is great as well. Just want to get a lucky heal there, because I have plenty of Estus left over, as you can see. But thankfully he is quite, generally speaking, he's punishable, which is a kind of a saving grace. In a sense. What are you going to do next? Okay. There we go. Sometimes he seems to follow that up. Sometimes he doesn't. I'm not sure what, Oh shit, that hit for a lot. Okay. Gotta be careful here. Back up, back up, back up. Okay. That was a safe point to heal. Yeah, this is the worst attack, because sometimes you can't, if he hits you with, like, all the hits of it, you can't quite block it, but he's just going crazy with that attack now, just using nothing but that. Nothing but Luigi. Damn, dude, use something else. And as usual, as per Dark Souls standards, don't get too greedy. As you can see, I'm doing 1 or 2 hits per punish, if you want to call it that. So, greed will destroy you more than anything else. And especially in this fight, but really in any fight in these games, just generally speaking, you know. You don't want to be overcome by the power of greed, because as they say, greed is massively strong. Holy shit. Okay. Didn't go for that, probably gonna... Oh, okay. Alright. I'll just chug in his face then. Don't get too far against the wall, because obviously that camera is not going to do you any favors if that happens. Sometimes you just get a little bit unlucky, but as you can see here, it's not too bad, as I always say. And that, my friends, was Ornstein and Sma. Considered one of the toughest, if not the toughest boss in the entire series until Dark Souls 3's DLC came around, but not gonna lie, my heart was racing for that entire thing. I'm not gonna act like I was a total badass, but the thing is, man, look at this playthrough compared to my like usual casual playthroughs that I do. All those characters, you know, Love Game, Dawn, Melanie, and Saridwan, and all of them. Those guys are some real heroes, you know. They are people that united the world and have power far beyond what I could accomplish. Me, I'm just Nathan. I don't want to be compared to them. Just who the hell do you think I am? But I will say this, I was kind of handicapping myself a little bit because, as I said, I didn't use any fire. Both Ornstein and Small are very weak to fire damage. If you have any fire-based magic, pyromancy, or if you have a lot of flame resins or flame weapon, you can deal with them a lot more easily, because that's what I did last time. I just used a flame claymore, or flame resin claymore. But since we have finished up the Lautrec questline last time, as you can see a body here, that was where I had to invade him and kill him once and for all. We get our final reward, the favor set, and that's what I'm going to be using. As you can see, I have caused the armor of favor to be corrupted by some form of evil sorcery, and I've turned it pitch black. I have infused it with my own very essence. I'm not going to wear the legs because they look kind of stupid. What should I put on to finish this out? I guess I'll keep the Silver Knight on for now. And now I have made this set my own. It is no longer the golden set of envy, of favor. It has now become the set of the man destined to be king. And for all of that, what is our reward, you may ask? Well, step through these doors and become acquainted with your own fate, chosen undead.